Hi, Stan Winofsky here, United Plastic Fabricating. We're at our Massachusetts facility, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of the PolyGen replacement body program here. Get a lot of frequently asked questions, sometimes at the show or a lot of the sales calls. You have a lot of different questions on how the process works, how do I order my body, what can I get for options. So it's a really short video. Hopefully we can cover all your questions. So what we have here is a 180-inch body. This is a replacement for a Vulcan 940. It's going up to Ontario. And, this has our hinged door option. So we also offer the roll-up door option, and you can also get roll-up painted. We'll cover that in the options section a little bit later on. So just replacing a steel body. The current configuration has a cross box that he fabricated and a little bit shorter body. So what we did is we made the entire side as one section and eliminated the cross box, and then we added what we call our connector tunnel. It keeps the body sides in one piece to eliminate the side seam, but you don't give up any storage with the cross box. Okay, so one of the first questions we get is how do I go about ordering the body, or getting a quote for the body, I should say. What we need is a dimension from the front of the body, which is the very front section of the body, typically right behind the cab, including any cross box you'd have, to the center line of the tandems. That's how our body sizes are called out in our brochure. So this 180 dimension is from the very front of the body, including the tunnel box, to the center here. Also, we need pictures. Pictures from the side, a direct side view on each side, and one from the back. That tells us how many doors you have, and whatever you have up inside this area underneath the boom. Typically there's some obstructions that we need to see. So at least 3 pictures, the more the merrier. If you can get pictures with the side doors open to show your fork racks, chain racks, or any storage management options that you have on your truck, so if we can provide anything in plastic, at least we can quote you that accurately. Next question we have is, once you have your quote and the configuration matches what you're looking for, how do I proceed? So what we get is a 50% deposit of the total amount up front, and what that does is it locks a spot in our production schedule, and also it triggers somebody from engineering to come out and measure your body to confirm that the model that you selected is going to fit. All these bodies are a guaranteed fit. So 50% down, within 3 to 4 weeks we come out and measure the body. The engineer's out there, he actually draw the body there or match up one of our standard configurations. And then you'll be given what we call an approval drawing. It's not really an approval for dimensions, it's more for the features, to make sure we've got the chain racks in the right compartment. We get the fork holders in the right spot. It's got all the features as you expected them. So once we get the sign off on the configuration, then we enter into engineering and we start doing the code for actually cutting the body, and it enters production. One of our door options is our hinge doors, or solid face painted doors. So this is our typical arrangement: 2 overwheel doors and then multiple vertical doors ahead. On our overwheel doors, we use a continuous length stainless steel piano hinge at the bottom. What this does, it gives us more range of motion to get the door down farther, so you can get up closer to the truck, get out of the road, and also for the reach the controls once you're up on the rear jacks. So there's 2 different style hinges. I'll show you the front hinge there. So we use double rotary latches, stainless steel strikers, and the Eberhardt E-Grab latch. These are all locked and all key-to-like. One other feature we have on these drop-down doors is our no slam feature of using 2 different pistons. So when you open the door, no need to hold it, just let it go. There's no way it can slam to the bottom to start ripping out the main attachment points. So all the vertical doors, as you can see, there's no visible hinge. These are a concealed hinge. There's one top, one bottom. Here's a full automotive bulb type gasket seal. So definitely a tight seal. These have been tested to 1750 psi with a pressure washer, and we have no leaks. So it's a really, really tight seal. And we use a 15-pound gas spring door opener, hold the door open. same latch, same hardware. The only difference is the concealed hinges. So for lighting options, we offer two different tail light layouts, and it's really dependent on the body style that we're replacing and how much room we have. This is what we call our vertical setup. So these are 3 standard ob-round grommet mounted lights, and we have to put these in with the CNC router to thin out the plastic. The plastic's a 1/2 inch in this area, and it has to be brought down to 3/16 so the grommet will attach and snap in once the light's in. So this is our stack arrangement, and then one of our options is to cut in marker lights, side directionals, or the small round marker light on the side. I think these are $10 a piece roughly. So we have to know up front the layout on these because these are done on the CNC machine while the panels are flat, because we can't cut these in after. So important that we know where these are, but that would be on your approval drawing anyways. We call it the style of light and the quantity. We do offer a tread plate kit for the body. This is the only piece on this body because the rest shipped loose. But it's a non-slip embossed tread plate, fire truck grade, and it's in sections as we go to account for a little bit of thermal expansion that we get with the plastic. So that is an option that we do offer as well. Another option we offer is a fork storage rack. Typically they're done in sets of 3, minimum of three positions per, so there's 18 racks, as you see right in here. You have the lower set, intermediate set, and the upper set. So there's 18 forks here. This particular tow company had a lot of additional custom forks that they made, so we added another rack in the bottom of this compartment. So quite a bit of fork storage here. And that's a 2 1/8 inch hole, so that fits all standard, pretty much all standard forks will fit in those holes. This is our optional chain rack. We prepare the compartment for it. That's why we need to know where it goes. So it's just a series of 1/4 by 3 flat bars arranged in a row, just for chain or sometimes pulley storage, depending on what you have. Again, this is an option you'll see listed in the options section. Standard on all the bodies is the rubber fender trim for the dual or triple axle cutout. It's a 2 1/2 inch wide profile rubber fender. It's screwed onto a rim that we weld inside the body. Again, this is standard on every body. Okay, so another one of the more frequent questions is mounting the body. Do I have to do anything special to the truck, or the subframe of the truck I have, to mount the plastic body? And, the answer is yes. We typically reuse the rear mount. Most of your Centuries have a 5 1/2 inch channel at the back, the main mount right between the tandems. That is the one that we reuse, and then we also reuse the one at the front. There's only 2 mounts typically on either a 138, a 156, or a 180. So what we add is we add one in the back here to support the back corner of the body. Your main 5 inch one that you'll be reusing is right in this area, and then if you were on the other side of the truck, you'd see that right between every door opening we have another 2 going through. That's what these clear notches out. So they'll go in here, and then here's a pocket here, and then the next one is the one in the front. So when we come out and measure it, what we give you is a drawing of the added cross members with a location referenced off the rear one that's already there, and we give you detailed call-outs on the material used for the support, the location, the drill hole sizes, and pretty much anything, so that the body just slides right on when you get it. Now, this particular one has a cross tunnel. This is an option we have. A lot of older wreckers have a lot of dead space behind the cab, and if there's room in there, we can sneak a tunnel. It makes a nice cribbing compartment or a shaft compartment. We make them any size. It basically just joins the left and the right side here. It has a gasket seal. It's all bolted together, so the way you'd install that is to set it in the middle first, and then bring the 2 sides in, and as both flanges. We'll walk around the side to, I can show you some details on how that looks from the inside. So looking at the tunnel from the side of the truck, you can see it's join here. This is about a 46-inch wide tunnel. This was a custom width. And then just takes the center of the two compartments. We cut it out, and you can see the bolt flange right here. These are all 1/4-20s, about 3 inches on center, and they just sandwich together to join the two sides. This is a pretty large tunnel. One of the most frequently asked questions is how do I paint the plastic? Is there anything special that I have to do? And actually there is. We have a approved process from PPG that we've been using for about 25 years. And it's made for the polypropylene, different than typical car bumpers. It's a little different plastic. So the adhesion promoter is matched up to the substrate to give you that really good adhesion. So we have that. We provide that with the body drawing, with the approval drawing, so you have that. And it's basically a standard top coat. The only difference is this adhesion promoter that goes on before the primer just to make it stick. It uses pretty much a standard automotive primer and a standard automotive top coat. So matching your colors should not be an issue. And any body work that needs to be done, sometimes you get a small gouge after the primer goes on, a typical body putty, or we do have some resins that are approved for the plastic to fill any large gouges, but that would typically be more if there was a repair from an accident. So that kind of segues into the next question. What if somebody hits the body and I have to have it repaired? The body's done with a hot gas welding process, and because it's plastic, typically the damage gets contained to a smaller area because it's almost like an impact barrier. So we've had some bodies come back in the past that have rolled over. We've had them with rear end collisions, and the repair was very easy. We have 5 technicians around the country, or actually around the world. We come right to your facility, make the repair, and then you take it from there with any body work or any paint work you have to do. So the plastic we use is a copolymer. It's a mix of mostly polypropylene, and it has some ethylene in it to give it the impact resistance. And this is a piece of 3/8 thick, but the tops here are made out of 3/4 inch, the face is out of 1/2, and all the floors are all out of 1 inch. It's all the same substrate. Question we get asked a lot because it's non-corrosive and it gets compared to fiberglass is it brittle and will it delaminate? It does not delaminate. It's an extruded resin, so it's all one. It's a homogeneous piece of plastic, and you can just bend that basically around on itself in either direction. It doesn't crack. The resin is configured to get stronger as it gets colder, the way the molecules are in the plastic. So we get that question a lot. So there's a good indication of how you can, basically how flexible the plastic is. It does grow and shrink a little bit. So any of the designs we have that are attaching metal, or the chain rack that you've seen earlier, we account for a little bit of movement on that, including the door. So hopefully we answered a lot of the questions you may have had on the process of ordering. Our sales department, Dan Rossetti or Pat Cahill, the 2 gentlemen in sales that can answer any questions, and any technical questions you have. If you have any special requests where you had a custom body or maybe a unique design that you'd like a quote on, or see if we could build it, just give us a call here and we'll be glad to look at what you have. Thanks for watching.